it seems like that they will start to creep out of nowhere and start to get big and play out there.
We stand there and watch them because, they're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We watch the sky for a while. So beautiful when it's cold. Stars are out.
When the moon is not out and the stars are not out, when the northern lights come out, it just brightens up the entire environment up north.
One comment that really shocked me when I was growing up, living in the north, living here in Nome, in this northern part of Alaska, a sailor got off a ship and he asked me, how can you guys live here? You guys live in almost complete darkness in the winter? And I looked and I said, it's dark? And to me, walking at like 5 in the afternoon or so and it's dark, to me it's bright because the stars are twinkling, the snow is sparkling, the snow is bright, and to me it's just beautiful.
The Northern Lights inspire awe and pique the curiosity of people inhabiting the far north. What are the Northern Lights? How did they get there? How do they fit into the natural world? What meaning do they hold for those who live beneath their splendor?
There was going to be a storm, but then it stopped. And then the Northern Lights came, and then it was like kind of twirling, and the colors were really beautiful.
Happy, my dad always say, and he always starts singing, Kiuguyat, Kiuguyat, ah, yo, ah, yo. They always start moving real fast.
When I want to see the Northern Lights, I get away from the sea, from Kotzebue, from down over, like here in Nome. Get out nice, get out in the country, out of artificial lights, street lights, because you can't see them very much. Even the stars, you can't see the stars. But you go out in the country, you can see everything is the same, it's dark, and you can see everything easier. The best time to go out is at night. We all know that, but late at night, early in the morning, it depends. And sometimes they don't come out for a while because of the air. How dark it is or cold it is, especially when it's cold, they'd come out. When it's warm, not as much.
In December, the middle part of December is when they would start to appear, especially when the sun tips over the horizon, when the winter solstice happen in December. So we didn't anticipate for the Northern Lights to come back. We always knew that they will appear soon. They were our source of light if the moon wasn't full.
Our grandmother was early bird, and she always tell us what to do before school. Go get some ice from our yard for water. And it was so dark. Early morning, it was so dark. And there we see the Northern Lights.
dancing in the sky.
Even if there's no moon too, they used to make the ground, you could see the shape of houses, even if there's no moon, because those northern lights, sometimes they're real bright, when they're moving, they really make it brighter. So when it's real cold, they occur, huh? Yeah, yep.
They'd be up in the sky, not moving around. But I remember when we whistled, they would really start dancing. It was just like a ribbon flowing. And the more louder we got, the quicker it looks like it's moving with the wind. And the darker the colors would, the colors would come out when you whistled at them.
The Inupiat have strong cultural and spiritual ties to nature and the cosmos. This includes centuries of collective experience observing the northern lights and marveling at their beauty. The glow of the northern lights is appreciated during travel in winter, as it sometimes lights the trail. The lights inspire several traditional Inupiaq stories, songs, and dances.
Kiuguyat, Kiuguyat, angiya, angiya, kalutak pinya, angiya, angiya. Hey! Kiuguyat, Kiuguyat, angiya, angiya, kalutak pinya, angiya, angiya. Hey!
According to the ancient oral tradition, the Kiuguyat, or Northern Lights, are spirits of people playing a game of soccer in the sky. The lights are prone to swooping down to earth to cut off the heads of the unwary. This legend of the Northern Lights has many local variations that teach children important lessons.
The school system needed us to go to sleep early and wake up early so that we can go to school on time. And so the Mothers Club would scout and make sure all children were home by 9:30. No children out. Here's a scare tactic that we heard over and over and over when we were kids. If you are visiting your neighbors or not home yet, and it's 9:30, the northern lights are out, guess what? They're gonna chop your head off and they're gonna play with your head like a football.
And the boys and I, we were just making all kinds of noises, screaming, just having a good time outside. And then Grandma come running out. She says, "Hey!" She hollered, "Hey," in English. Ooh, something's wrong. She's "That one in the yellow there. You make too much noise. If you don't listen to what I'm telling you, it's going to take your head and then use it for a football. You see it? Look. They're chasing one right now. Look." We all looked at each other. Uh-oh, what do we do wrong? We can't make too much noise now.
In the disciplining part, they would talk about not having to walk by yourself going home, that you should have someone come with you. Otherwise, if you're walking home alone and there's the northern lights out there, that the northern lights will get you and take your head off. And when you see them really dancing, then they know they're having fun playing football and really moving around.
I think that's what scared us. Dun man, kaum maringin nga keroyam, kaum mariksivain man as tema kenyakanaksivluni apun mon. Apun gumasi kaum maringin nga kevilaksivluni. Yeah. And what I just said was when the northern lights especially get really bright and strong, you can literally, the reflection will bounce off and you can feel like it's almost, it's gonna chop my head off.
During the past century, another story of the Northern Lights has emerged, this one from a science perspective. Scientists have learned much about the physical processes and conditions required for a planet to have an aurora. Scientists at the University of Alaska Fairbanks Geophysical Institute shoot rockets into the aurora to study it. The physical science story of the aurora begins with the sun. The sun is a fitting starting point for a phenomenon observed by so many Inupiaq people. In some Inupiaq communities, the sun sets in midwinter and does not rise above the horizon for months. During the summer, the opposite is true, with the sun remaining above the horizon day and night. The long periods of darkness inspired traditional dances to welcome the return of the sun. The sun is a bright star at the center of the solar system. It is the source of nearly all of the energy on Earth. The sun constantly blows charged particles out into space in what is known as the solar wind. Huge explosions on the sun, known as coronal mass ejections, can send many more particles hurtling into space, sometimes in Earth's direction. The movement of molten metal deep within Earth produces a magnetic field. This magnetic field surrounds Earth and protects it from the solar wind. The constant pressure of the solar wind distorts Earth's magnetic field. It compresses the field on the side that faces the sun and stretches it out on the dark side of Earth, much like the wake left behind a boat as it passes through water. Earth's magnetic field acts as a buffer. It protects Earth from most of the charged particles the solar wind carries by deflecting the wind around Earth. Some of the charged particles get caught in the Earth's magnetic field. They travel along the magnetic field toward Earth's poles. The aurora can be seen on most dark, clear nights, but an especially strong aurora usually occurs after a storm on the sun. It takes 1 to 4 days for the highly charged solar particles to reach Earth. Earth is covered by a thick atmosphere of gases made mostly of nitrogen and oxygen. The charged particles follow Earth's magnetic field lines to enter the atmosphere near Earth's poles. The charged particles slam into and energize gas particles in Earth's atmosphere, causing them to glow like a neon sign. This creates the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights occur 60 to 600 miles above Earth's surface. Their colorful dancing display awes scientists, hunters, photographers, and casual observers of every age. The color of the lights depends on which types of gas the sun's charged particles run into. Green is most common and is caused by energized oxygen. Pale purple is from energized nitrogen, and red is energized oxygen at higher altitudes. Often, people see the purple lights as white or pale blue because sometimes the color is too faint for human eyes to perceive.
Like the colors are like red, like kind of red and purple and or like dark purple, kind of blue too.
The northern lights come in a dazzling array of shapes. The shapes often occur in a similar pattern. First, a quiet arc stretches like a ribbon across the sky. Next, rayed bands of light curl and buckle. If the aurora is directly overhead, these rayed bands appear as a corona, a starburst of light which can fill the entire sky. As the rayed bands fade, patches of aurora resembling puffs of smoke or faint clouds light the night. Finally, long aurora rays appear as vertical bars of light, signaling the end of the show. Due to their unpredictable nature, the northern lights are not relied upon as a light source, but when they do appear, they provide welcome light for nighttime travel.
If they were shining green, the snow reflected back that same green color. If they were shining red, it sort of reflected a sort of a pinkish hue, purplish hue color back. And so with that, we could see longer distances. So when the northern lights were out, even though it was cold, it was a good time to travel.
My grandpa would take me out and he'd say, Doreen, I like your dog team travel at night. Dogs are comfortable, I'm comfortable, and it's not only that, we have, when it's cold out, we have the northern lights. You can see things that you don't when there's no northern lights. Or then he'd say, I also like to travel when the moon is out. You can see long ways. Whereas you can notice things better at night than you do in the winter time, in the daytime, because in the daytime everything just goes by. You don't really stop to think about it. In nighttime, you have to notice. So you have to look at things. You hear things that you don't normally hear during the day. And he said, the northern lights, when I see the northern lights while I'm traveling, there's no roads, no trails. I'm out by myself out in, this is my grandfather talking to me. He said, when I'm out myself hunting caribou or chasing foxes, he said, I like to watch which way the northern lights are going. It tells me where I'm going, where I'm at. He explained to me that northern lights helped him a lot when he was younger, because his parents and grandparents had taught him the same thing I'm teaching you. He wanted me to know because I will spend a lot of time out there with him. And he said, I don't want you to say, what's going on? What did I do? He said, I want you to know now. Look at them. Look at them.
A question about why people are fascinated by the northern lights. I think it's just that, it's not an everyday occurrence that you see. And once you see them, they're fun to watch. You still think about that, the stories that your grandparents told you.
Generations of observations have forged a cultural connection between the Inupiaq people and the Northern Lights. This connection inspires continued learning about the natural world and sharing of traditional wisdom with future generations.
Sulungatu anayangalehe. Sulungatu anayangalehe. Kayok lungatuk anayangalehe. Uy, napigat. Nakalolejak kayok tak bak. Nabirak.